Omega, meaning that God was the first being ever to come into existence. He would also be the last thing to exist when our universe becomes cold and dead. An ultimate fate we may suffer sooner rather than later, as a direct result of our scientists poking the bear of physical law in the international experiment known as Alpha 2. The biggest high-energy physics lab in the world is Cern, home of the Large Hadron Collider, so large that it sits on both sides of the border between France and Switzerland. The name of Cern itself is a contraction of Cernunnos, the horned god of the underworld, worshipped by the ancient Celts. Cernunnos is a symbol of man's greed. He carries a purse filled with coin. At the Geneva headquarters stands a statue of Shiva, a divine being of the Hindus and a destroyer of worlds. This deity, for many thousands of years, has been associated with annihilation. Shiva is the ravisher, which ultimately destroys all things, including the Earth. The logo of Cern incorporates the number of the beast, 666, as predicted by Revelation chapter 13. The headquarters has been a staging area for midnight satanic rituals. When the Collider was under construction, excavators unearthed Roman ruins of the 4th century. The Collider was built on the site of a Roman temple for the worship of Apollo. As a jealous god, Apollo's name was most often associated with destruction. Today, scientists are preparing to throw the power switch on the newest Alpha project, Alpha 2. The purpose of the Alpha series is the creation of antimatter. Before the year 2016, man had succeeded in producing only loose particles of this exotic substance. However, last year, the Alpha team synthesized for the first time complete atoms of negatively charged matter, specifically antihydrogen. Every time that antimatter is retrieved from the pit, it brings with it, by definition, destruction and chaos. The pit, of course, is Hades, and our unbridled scientific foray now threatens to release a literal hell on Earth. Cern's chief executive officer, Rolf Dieter Hoyer, described it as breaking through a wall. His director of research, Sergio Bertolucci, said that once this door has been opened, something may well come out of it. When the gates of hell are opened by men who play God, interdimensional beings will be given free passage and emerge from the portal with a taste for the destruction of humanity. Against these beings, we have already been warned for centuries. One of the working physicists at Cern was Dr. Edward Mantil. According to colleagues, he had not slept for days when in July of 2016, he locked himself inside his office. After 1 week of failing to keep his appointments, he was found behind his filing cabinet, mortally wounded from a self-inflicted gunshot. Papers had been burned in his wastebasket, and the rest of his experimental data was permanently deleted from his computer. by means of a low-level format of the hard drive, except for one text file. The text file of Dr. Mantill's last words revealed that in spite of the fact that the portal was not yet open, experimenters were able to see through it to the other side. In one of his own experiments, he saw a frightening scene from 3 years into the future, where Cern scientists could be seen in panic mode, struggling to close the open gateway. A black hole was released, which consumed our very planet within 3 short days. Stephen Hawking, the semi-paralyzed English physicist, predicted Cern would trigger a bubble of vacuous decay, expanding at the speed of light. Even astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson sounded an alarm when he said if someone wanted to blow up the planet, this would be a good way to do it.
Wind blows, 2 crows. Black shadow, 2 crows on a web. Wind blows, 2 crows. Black shadow, 2 cracks appear. Wind blows, 2 crows. Black shadow, 2 lovers appear. Wind blows, 2 crows. Black shadow, 2 crows in a meadow. Wind blows, 2 crows. Black shadow, 2 lovers appear.